Oh my God, this is absolutely insane. There are more fires and more fires and more. This is so crazy. So, I'm used to, and I'm sure you're used to, I'm sure everybody is kind of used to a normal, like, wildfire in LA, in California or anywhere, BC, Alberta, whatever. They have fires like this that pop up all the time. But this is so crazy. I guess, because, Hollywood, a lot of rich, famous celebrities are in the area. So, of course, everybody has more concern that, one of the Kardashians has a house and it doesn't burn down and people aren't losing, millions of dollars worth of houses. If this was your neighborhood, nobody would give a fuck. Just remember that. Nobody really cares about you and your neighborhood, but these are celebrities, so let's care. And when I say let's care, I mean it's pretty crazy. There are celebrities doing GoFundMe's right now. And so that has been kind of a problem for a lot of people because, listen, if you're in a movie, if you're getting all sorts of royalties from your music, you're living in a $15 million house, a $20 million, come on. Your insurance is going to cover all your shit. You're in movies, you're filming movies, you got movies on Netflix, you're going to be in a Netflix movie, you're going to be making money, and people are kind of not too happy about this craziness, right? Because we're donating money now to help millionaires rebuild their millionaire houses, their mansions on their huge properties. And meanwhile, everybody else suffering from this, which are a lot of normal people, homeless people, people that maybe will never get a second chance at their living in LA or having a home, or people that are instantly homeless now for the rest of their lives with nothing. I mean, there are some people that are really going to have a hard time. And for you to tell me, hey, why don't you send money so that somebody with millions of dollars could rebuild, or even better yet, that somebody or you're related to somebody that lost something and you have millions of dollars, but you want everybody else to give and help somebody else. That is insane. If I made multiple millions of dollars in my lifetime, I would never ask people to contribute, which what will be essentially, hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps tens of thousands of dollars. And so if you think that people can't judge you because, you're above being judged because you thought that was a good idea, I mean, that's crazy. I think for GoFundMe's for LA, what they really have to consider right now, instead of letting everybody set up a whole bunch of GoFundMe's, which is just going to create such a pain in the ass, instead of letting 100,000 people set up a bunch of separate GoFundMe's, GoFundMe should take all those GoFundMe's, put it in one big basket, and divide it amongst the people, that are affected, right? There's all sorts of issues. There's pets, there's old people, there's people that were homeless or people in hospitals, mentally ill people. Listen, I'm not a big liberal here, but I'll tell you something. There's a lot bigger concern here than a bunch of Hollywood liberal hacks getting money out of normal people or getting money out of their fans so they can rebuild and live their posh lifestyle. That's fucking ridiculous, right? When you ran out of your Hollywood house carrying your $100,000 handbag, right, and hopped in your Bentley or whatever to run off and go to the hotel, you know, I'm sure you could take any of those items, sell them, and you'd have less of a problem for living for like at least a little while compared to most average people. I mean, there were people out there that they were living in a house, a little shack for the last, 80 years, and now they don't got anything. Never mind living in one of their 18 houses. Like, give me a break. You guys are nuts. This is one of the nuttiest things ever, right? So what I see here is that they're still fighting this fire. They're doing a really shit job at it because, you know what, there's a lot of winds. There's a lot of, I guess, craziness going on. when it comes to like these random rejects out there, random people with blowtorches and shit, trying to kill people, trying to set fires and kill people. And you know what? The sad part about it is they spend so much time trying to deny these things happen. And this makes it even worse. Because when you deny that these things happen, that these things are possible, you're basically making everybody look like we're all one big joke, like a bunch of suckers. They must have caught about what, 10 guys already with all sorts of blowtorches and stuff that were setting fires, and guys running out of the bushes. And this is, listen, I haven't even seen Fox News or anything center to right leaning. So everything I've been reading just to make sure to appease everybody, especially because of California, especially because of LA, just to make sure I'm not, giving you a biased report here. I'm giving you the liberal bias. What I'm giving you is what liberals are writing, what CNN is writing. And it's crazy. We're talking about billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, this thing. And these fires are starting all over the place, right? You got that one that started, that Eaton fires it, that started, they got another one there, right? So I think the Palisades fire still going, the Hearst fire, Auto fire, so you do have some issues going on. There's more risks in all these other areas. So now you're going to have FEMA involved. This is going to be pretty crazy. This is actually horrible at this point, because you got to think Trump's going to be president and California is completely devastated. And California is the one state where it's filled with a bunch of liberals, Democrats that are anti-Trump, have Trump derangement syndrome, hate Republicans, hate conservatives, hate anybody center to right, right? They lose it. If you're not batshit crazy liberal, California hates you. And so this is going to be interesting, because they're going to have to work together, the federal and state government, right? And try to get everything put back together. That's pretty crazy. They're still evacuating. They're still booking people for arson. There's all these people that have lost their medicine. There's dogs walking around, cats walking around. There's people, their houses were burning while they were at work or stuck in traffic, right? Not everybody abandoned their animals. But there's a lot going on, and they're still trying to contain this. It's just crazy. It's nice to see, everybody. The best part about it, I'll tell you something. Regardless of how you're voting, regardless of your politics, at least I could say, you know what? Most Americans are good people and they're helping out their fellow man. So at least, you may have some issues. We know, California kind of did this to themselves, but, at least we're there to help, and they'll be able to turn around and say, you know what, other people help. And maybe that changes the perception, right? When you see that all these people helping you are the people that you were against and wanted to, execute during COVID and, all this craziness, right? So that's good. So hopefully the next step with this is they're going to try to contain it. They got some more tankers going to try to, I guess, put some flame retardant out there. So many people. Part of the problem is, they're going to keep coming across is that if there are more people setting fires, then you're going to have a huge issue. The more people setting fires is the more people that you have to watch out for, because more fires will come when you least expect it, in the areas you least expect it. And for people like this that are setting them, they're mentally ill. They've caught, homeless people, mentally ill people, illegal aliens. They've caught setting fires. So a lot of these people, they don't have skin in the game. They don't own a house. They're not from California. or they're mentally ill on drugs or whatever. So these are all people that nobody's burning down. None of these people setting fires are people that are permanent California residents or residents of this area that are impacted by this. They're people making everybody else's life miserable. So hopefully they're prosecuted at, the complete full extent possible. Anyways, we'll keep you updated. We just think, people wonder why we report on this. It's, a lot of nothing going on. It's a lot of, I guess sometimes it could almost be like kicking somebody kicking a state when it's down. But, you know, we see this is problematic. It's almost like a warning call. Sometimes you have to look at things like this and say, you know what? Shit, we got to make sure that we take the right precautions. It's just like COVID. When COVID happened and they said, oh shit, we don't have any PPE, we don't have gloves, we don't have masks, we don't have anything. This is when they needed to really step up and come up with a plan. I bet you they have no plan and we're going to get fucked next time. But you see it with this. We didn't have water. We didn't have full reservoirs. We didn't have people that knew how to fight fires. We didn't do any, forest management. We didn't take any precautions whatsoever. We had no emergency plans. We had half of our equipment didn't work. We had no budget. I don't know. It sounds like it's between a whining fest and, just a waste of everybody's time. Imagine you spent money building a fire service and everybody was completely useless and fucked up everything. That's exactly what you got here. Hopefully, the next time I speak about this subject, it has to be either all of California just burnt down and I'm going, holy shit, well, that ended fucking weird. Or they just put it out and go, okay, well, that's a different story. And then finally, when they fire everybody involved and throw them into some sort of jail or a burning pit of fire lava stuff, because that's ridiculous. And until next time, thank you for tuning into Better Assholes.